Welcome to the Charleston Marketing Podcast, powered by the Charleston American Marketing Association, broadcasting from our home base at Charleston Radio Group. Thanks to CRG, we're able to talk to the movers and shakers of Charleston, from economy to art, from hospitality to tech, and everything in between. These leaders have made a home here in the Lowcountry. They live here, they work here, they make change here. Why? Let's talk about it.
Hello and welcome to the Charleston Marketing Podcast, powered by the Charleston American Marketing Association. We're here recording at the Charleston Radio Group Studios, a big supporter of Camo. Got to give a shout out to Charleston's favorite DJ, Jerry Feels Good, with the beats at the beginning, and thanks to all of our supporters. My name is Mike Compton. I'm president of Roombo Advertising, GoRoombo.com, and your director of membership experience for the Charleston American Marketing Association. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with my fellow co-host, Stephanie Barrow. Steph, what's up?
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Stephanie Barrow, and I am the founder of Stephanie Barrow Consulting, a digital marketing strategy agency here in Charleston, and I am your CAMA past president. We are very excited to be joined by a very special guest.
This guy.
Ben, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
I'm going to do the awkward thing now where I'm going to read your bio in front of you, and I'm going to try very hard to say all of these English words very properly.
Oh, she went there.
So here we go. Ben is an English-born restaurateur and career adventurer based in Charleston. I'm going to give that up now. South Carolina. Ben and his wife, Kate, who's precious, by the way, launched their hospitality brand Basic Projects in 2015. Most recently, he completed the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge, a 3,000-mile nautical race across the Atlantic Ocean, which raised over $150,000 for Greenheart, a local food nonprofit. Ben's passions for healthy, inspired living and sustainable food systems drive the mission of Basic Projects as the company continues to create an ever-expanding collection of unique spaces, experiences, and products that inspire people to live better.
Yeah.
That is
you know
awesome.
what? You inspired me to live better.
Yeah, I did.
This morning.
How?
Yeah, I listened to the podcast you did with Sarah Frick.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting there trying to do some research, and I'm getting ready to jog. I like to jog and do podcasts. Sometimes I church and jog. And
multi-talented.
And so I'm going 2 miles here, right? That's my mission right now. But this guy did 40 days on the Atlantic. We'll get to that later.
Yes.
But as I'm listening to the podcast, I'm going, I'm just like, okay, I can go. Give me 4 miles. Okay, Compton, give me 4 miles here. So, you got inspired one guy today.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And thanks for coming on the show.
We're really excited to have you. I'm excited to have you because I remember a couple of years ago, I was introduced to you. Number one, I go to your restaurant, so we'll tackle that later.
Yeah,
but
so much to talk about.
I loved your coffee talk with us.
Yeah, that was at Basic Kitchen.
At Basic
Yes,
Kitchen.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. So you opened one of your restaurants up to us, and it was awesome. So I want to start at the beginning because I love a good story, and I love to hear people's reason why they came to Charleston. Now, you were living in New York City.
I was, yeah.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
So
He's an English-born man.
That's my background quickly is from England, and I didn't finish high school. I went straight into the culinary world, and I did an apprenticeship at 16, and I trained with these incredible chefs. One who you probably know is Gordon Ramsay, and I came to America with Gordon Ramsay to open his restaurant in New York, and then left that restaurant, started my own, and eventually we had 4 restaurants in New York and a catering business, and I'd sort of done all the things I wanted to do there. I've been there for 10 years, and I've met my wife, Kate, in one of the restaurants. It was called Fat Radish. And we decided, what's the next chapter? What's the next adventure look like? And so I came down and visited Charleston, and that's where we decided to do chapter 2.
What year was that?
That was 2014 or 2013. We
Okay.
came down here.
So the buzz of Charleston was making it up to New York about being part of
You
the
know, it was
culinary
exactly. There was the food side, and Husk was sort of the big name that was being, and just generally what the city felt an exciting place to be, and lots of opportunity, and here we are 10 years later.
Yeah,
Well,
we have a
'cause-
lot of James Beard Award-winning chefs here in Charleston, so I can see why the buzz was making it up to the Big Apple.
Exactly, and if you talk to a lot of people, 10 years in like a big city like New York tends to be like either you're in it for the long haul and you're doubling down, or you're like I'm out, and
Yep.
I was out.
So you and Gordo worked together side by side for 10 years.
I don't know if we did side by side for 10
That's a
years.
dad joke, people.
That's a whole other story that I don't think we got time for. So.
Wow, my gosh! Every little onion I peeled from Ben here, I'm getting more impressed.
I've got to experience lots of fun things.
In New York City,
and learn lots.
That's crazy.
You get to of this. I worked for 3 very well known chefs, but Gordon is best known here in the U.S. But Raymond Blanc was another chef who's arguably one of the sort of most famous chefs in the UK, and then another guy called Rick Stein, who's the best boss I ever had, and he's the most well-known seafood chef in Cornwall, where I'm from. And so, I learned a lot from each of those three folks. So yeah, I love the restaurant business and hospitality, and I've been in it since I was 16.
So you were an apprentice at 16, and your charm and wit and skill just opened all these doors. Like, how do you go from
No,
that?
I worked my tail off, and people don't see that. Like, that's the other thing I see now. Like, I'll give you what an apprenticeship looks like at a 3 Michelin star restaurant. It's at the time it was £7,000 a year. I'd left home, by the way. I didn't speak to my folks. So, £7,000 a year, 80 to 90 hour work week. You launder all your own clothes, pressed. If you haven't shaven, you're sent home. You polish your shoes. You're not allowed to talk.
Wow.
You work around the stations. It's like being in the military, and
so
you learn how to treat food and ingredients and work, and with so much respect and detail. And it's just a whole other world. And then when I was told I could come to America, now you kind of do sort people's visas out and you work with them. But when I got told by Gordon Ramsay there was an opportunity to go to America, it was like, well, you pay your own ticket, you pay your own visa. So I started working in the kitchen I was the sous chef in. I then became the guy who made the coffee at night, and I would wash the dishes. So just anything to earn extra money because I had this real cost of moving country. And then I got to America, and I was like, oh my God, this place is 22.
Wow.
This place is, we speak the same language, but that's about the only thing that we have in common. So I found it very difficult initially to transition to the US because it was just so foreign and different. But New York was magic, and
you went right to New York City.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think that idea of like when people hear stories, and I'm getting to sit here on a podcast and got restaurants, but you create your own, you make your own doors, you create your own luck, and it's there for the taking if you want to.
When you were going through
it,
the culinary school, what did you call it again?
And it's an apprenticeship.
The apprenticeship.
So, and I think we're missing that.
How old were you?
I was 16, 17, and 18. So
that's when you started the apprenticeship.
That's impressive.
And then I came out, and in the world's your oyster. You go anywhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
First thing they say on your application for a visa to the United States is college education, and the only thing that gets you past that is culinary.
Okay.
Interesting.
Scratch it out and put chef.
Good to know.
Yeah, so if you're out there listening and you're thinking, I want to go travel the world.
Actually, our podcast gets a lot of downloads overseas.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Well, I mean, if you want to travel the
It
world,
might happen now.
Learn how to cook, and then you can go anywhere you want.
Love it. That's good.
That's amazing. Did you eat? I love a love story, so excuse
Yeah,
me.
yeah, sure.
Here we go.
So here we go.
I love
Smart
Who doesn't?
podcast.
Well, I also
who doesn't
love
a love story?
I love his wife because I met her at the coffee talk.
Yeah.
Now, was she working alongside you in New York, or how did you guys run
No,
into each other?
Kate came into the restaurant, probably a mutual friend, and you want the true story, and it'd be quick. Is I had met her when I was a sort of a lowly chef, and she came into the restaurant, and I worked for someone she knew, and I was very much in the background. Obviously, I noticed Kate, and fast forward like 4 years, she came. I then had opened my own restaurant, and she came in there, and I said, "You remember me?"
She's like, I remember you 4 years later.
She's like, "Oh yeah, you were the guy in the
how old were you
background." This is probably
time?
26 at that point. So
4 years after you made it to the motherland.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
no, true.
Yeah.
Homeland.
So we met, and that that's it. When you know, you know. So
4
I
years.
love it.
Oh,
I love it.
And then, so I'm sorry, what did she do for the group then? What did
No, Kay was in the film world. She did set design.
That's cool.
Yeah, she did some, and then the
That's
last,
neat. I love that.
she
That's my
did
world.
Moonrise Kingdom for Wes Anderson. Was
That's a great movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was that was the last.
That was
film she
Academy
worked on.
nominated, right?
I think that was that and All Grand Budapest Hotel.
Both
them
of those.
was,
So films are so hard.
All things by Wes Anderson.
amazing. Yeah,
It's hard work.
Yes.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not in the film business.
It's a
but-
lot like
Yeah.
the restaurant. But It's
Restaurant.
a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's a lot, you're
Long
away.
hours.
You're just away for
Mhm.
extended periods of time. So she got into design and interior design and
This is why this is the perfect pairing because you're the
No
chef.
kidding.
And
Well, it
she
shows,
has the
though.
vision of design and, that kind of thing. So you bring the clear vision of good food, thoughtful design,
Yep.
exceptional service, and then you have basic.
that's it. Well, it's definitely not just Kate and I. There's a lot of other people in that. So,
I know.
so there's a lot of people with
exceptional point.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on now.
yes.
Timeline is we met Kate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're 26. And how long did we stay in New York City then?
Yeah, we
Another
stayed
6 years then?
No, so until I was probably in my early 30s.
Okay, so you're rocking the New York City scene, just killing these restaurants,
if-
slaying it.
Yeah, Fat Radish was probably one of the most. It was. I can say this, and it was just this moment in time. We opened one of the restaurants that was just. It was.
What's it called now?
It was called the Fat Radish, and it
Oh,
was kind of the New York restaurant. And,
Wow.
And we were on the Lower East Side just in Chinatown, and on any given day we wrote cookbook. We cooked for everyone. We were sent all over the world to do pop-ups.
Love it.
You'd go in there and you'd have Elton John and Taylor Swift and just everyone was in this restaurant.
Are
And
you the head chef too? Then?
I was the head chef then.
That's so impressive.
And that just became it was just a stroke of luck, and we rode that wave.
Nice.
So food was good,
I'm gonna say
place was cool.
Fat
My business
Radish,
partner was
what
a
kind of
legend.
food?
It was just delicious,
Yeah.
seasonal cooking, and it was a really fun little space, and it was very unexpected. So you just somehow capture a moment in a place like New York. You can do that, and we did it.
And so now you're doing it here in Charleston. So
It's different here.
How long did it take you once you moved here to get acclimated? First of all,
Yeah.
where did you land when you moved here?
Moved here, lived downtown, and yeah, love the city. We've done we started doing some. We're out of the restaurant business for a while. We did a
Okay.
bit of property renovation. Example where chasing a restaurant called Chasing Sages. We kind of redeveloped that building
Oh, neat.
and restored it. And we did that in Savannah and Charleston, and then Basic Kitchen was our first restaurant in 2017.
So does
and it's
Kate have her own?
impeccably designed, by the way.
Yeah, Basic Kitchen we got off to an interesting start. I thought it'd be a good idea to open basically a vegetarian restaurant in the South in 2017, which was a terrible idea. And so yeah, we had it was a few misses, and then we decided it was a good moment where one of our customers said, "Man, just put a hamburger on the menu, and then you'll kind of capture everyone." And we did, and we now sell the same amount of basic bowls, which is
Yes,
That's
I
what
have
I
that
get.
base bowl,
before.
and
Yeah,
then
I get
you say
as
it,
we
yes.
do
Yep.
naughty burgers, which come from a
Your
cattle
sweet
ranch.
potato fries are legit.
Mm.
So yeah, so there you go. That's
They're
lesson learned. Like listen to your customers. Everyone's rooting for you, but just speak to
Yeah,
wide
there's a little
audience.
marketing tip. I like that.
Yeah. So it was.
Did
I
Kate
love
have her own
baking.
design shop on the side? Like,
She did, and we just sort of joined forces.
Yeah.
Yeah, as then created Basic Projects exactly,
Mhm.
and I started work for her. It's going great.
awesome, awesome.
it.
And then you opened up. What you said, Basic Kitchen came first.
Basic Kitchen came first, and then we did some stuff in Savannah,
What kind of
which
stuff in
we
Savannah?
clo-
A restaurant.
we had an apartment hotel called the Windrose.
And you're chefing all these. Like,
No, I'm no longer chefing at this
So
point.
Oh,
he's
you got
doing
out of it now,
interior
yeah.
design and
now you're
Yeah,
just
so-
hanging out with the.
So truth
Yeah.
be told, I got out of the kitchen in New York before I left. We had 4 restaurants in New York,
Uh-huh.
and we had a very busy events business, and I wasn't cooking anymore. And if I and I'm not cooking now. I love food. I kind of cooking got me out of it. Got me to
Yeah.
I cooked so much and worked so many hours. I kind of overcooked it, and
Yeah, you're cooked
and
out.
so there was a point where I just I now focus on running our business. We got 250 employees, and that comes with just
You said how many?
250.
Oh
and,
my gosh.
And so you got to create an environment that's good for
Yeah.
them to work in, a culture, and just all that goes with running and growing our business is what I focus on. And we've got some amazing folks who head the culinary program.
And
So
all of your items in your restaurants are like locally sourced, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we work. I mean, not everything. We work. We work with all the farmers and seafood guys and meat guys for to know where our food's coming from.
So
You went to from chef to CEO.
Chef, chef
Yeah.
to owning and running the business. Exactly,
Yeah. And it's a big one. 250 employees. That's not a small shop.
No, it's a good shop, and
you said
hopefully
three?
three restaurants, and with some focus on some growth for with Basic Kitchen as our next goal. So yeah, love it. Charleston's the best place to be doing it. Love it.
Isn't it great?
Really want to focus on.
Why do you think
doing
that?
it.
Why do you think Charleston's so great?
Because we've got a real mix. We've got a lot of happy residents on the whole who like love living here. You always want to live in a place where people go on vacation.
absolutely.
But the only thing that gets challenging is if you're only in this. Well, Charleston's a kind of living, breathing, robust city where people, there's industry, it's the port, it's just, and it's got better, in my opinion, and maybe a lot of people might disagree. I think it's got better and better as we've got, as this place has grown and
I think so,
new
too.
ideas have come.
And I love the hospitality industry is not seasonal. It's year round celebrated.
I think that makes a big difference for us, exactly. So it's whether it's the programming that happens throughout the city, Seaweed, Wine and Food, Spoleto, and so on and so forth, and there's just enough big weddings. There's enough to really have a robust business year round, which was really, really.
My husband
awesome.
and I go to a new restaurant every month, so we make like
That's
a date
great.
night out of it and go downtown or wherever it is. And
I love that.
That's great.
That's
That's
fantastic.
really fun.
And now you're going to join us for Father's Day, I hear. So.
yeah, we're coming
There you
here.
go.
Yes.
There you go.
So
Yep.
this is a marketing podcast. So I'm going to ask a marketing question.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's so crazy when someone who is so successful in another city can come here and almost in a way seamlessly build a brand
Like,
in a city that they have no like history in. How do you do that?
and why wouldn't you just bring the radish down here
Because, well, I don't know if that was an option.
or
but-
one of your concepts? I'm sorry, any one of your concepts.
Well, two questions. First question
Yeah.
is why would you do is how do you do that? And I
Yeah.
think it wasn't seamless at all. There was lots of, Basic Kitchen was a total disaster at the beginning. And I think Charleston's a totally different market. And what works in New York, this is getting into the second, it doesn't necessarily work in Charleston. And what works in Charleston maybe not work, it won't work in New York. So understanding the city that you're in, the customer base, the ingredients, the way people eat. People used to come into Basic Kitchen because it's downtown, it's close to sort of south of Broad. They would come in like a jacket and like loafers,
All dressed
and
up.
I'd be like, oh my god, wrong vibe. Like
Yeah.
we're selling like bowls and we hadn't worked out who we're talking to, and we were kind of a new concept. So now it's kind of everyone. We're very busy on our main business is kind of lunch and early dinners and families, and so we found our stride. We know our audience, but definitely when you come to a city, don't assume that you can take something that works in one place and it'll translate to the other. I think that's a mistake a lot of people make. And Charleston is a tricky market. It's all about understanding the locals and getting them to buy in on what you're doing and looking after them. And then the concierge and the hotels will send
Sure.
business your way. The wedding planners will send, it's really, I think it's the mistake I see people make here is they come in and they think, man, I did it in this city, so I can do it here. And people are like, well, it ain't that.
Uh-huh.
Well,
So-
you've done a good job with keeping like the aesthetic of your restaurants and your social media and your website all consistent. It looks
Yeah.
very much like you. When I went into Sullivan's Fish Camp for the first time, I was like, I can tell the small details.
And they're all
Thank
very
you.
Charleston too, right? Like
Yes,
very-
but not in a cheesy,
no.
like it's
Yeah.
it's your own vibe. Like I love it's very very basic projects.
Yeah.
Walking in from the menu choices, like this is a smaller menu. You're not overwhelmed. Everything's locally sourced. and it's got a beautiful spin on the city. I think you've really embraced that in a really different way that a lot of other restaurants haven't.
You know what it sounds like.
Well, we start every week. We honestly feel like, oh my God, we don't reimagine everything every week, but we are always, if you were to go into the basic kitchen today, and if you went in there 6 years ago, it's totally different.
Sure.
But it's small stuff, so we're always kind of upgrading or changing, or it's that's the game. You got to keep moving forward and just keeping relevant and vibrant. And
you guys are crazy talented. And it almost looks like you said that Kate was a film art designer. That's what it looks like, right? Somebody, because there's a lot of intentionality when you have a film and you're kind of art direct a film. And it's a lot of time and resources and thought power to the littlest things.
Yeah, that's very much Kate's world.
Yeah, love that. I would hang out with her, have a coffee.
I'm excited to check out the Post House Inn.
We will.
You just bought that.
What now?
Post House.
Yeah,
new,
the Post.
Right?
Well, it's new. We did it. I think we were 2019.
Behind the curb here.
And then 2020 we were ready to open, and then obviously March of 2020 we were ready to open. COVID happened. We ended up getting open in the summer of 2020.
Okay, COVID.
So wait, time out. You and Gordo hung out for a while. Yeah. You're doing all this in New York City. You're building these restaurants. Are you at that point a career adventurer, or did you wait till you? What point are you starting this career adventure?
We need to coin this phrase.
I don't know if we need to. It's career adventure.
I like it. We're going to coin it.
Honestly, I don't know why it's in there. I didn't write that.
That's great. I love it.
But what was your first?
Let's we just talk about what does career adventure mean? What do I mean by that? Because it sounds very pretentious. So let's get into it. Basically, I believe that we're capable of doing much more than we think we are. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important to take on challenges outside of your kind of everyday routine. And so some of the things that I have done, it all started with riding my bike across the U.S. And having this incredible experience. I was in between jobs after I moved it. I left New York, came down here.
Okay.
I was looking for stuff that nothing was kind of hitting here, and I lived in America. I didn't know what America was really like. I've flown over it, I'd driven, but I really wanted to understand this place I'm going to call home and raise a family. So I went to the Trek bike store in Mount Pleasant.
Oh, I've been there.
And I said to the guy behind
rode across this?
I have not ridden across the country.
I said I would like to buy a bicycle, and he said, "What are you looking to do?" I said, "I'm going to bike across America starting next week." And he's like, "Oh my God." So I looked at the map. There's a thing called Route 22 or 26, and it takes you through 16 states. And I set off from Virginia Beach, and I told Kate I'd meet her in Colorado. And I ended up writing a story for the New York Times about, it was really positive, a dispatch once a week, positive food stories on my kind of journey across the U.S. And so I would sleep in churches and fire stations, in restaurants, and visit farmers and food banks and meet people, and then do a weekly dispatch. And I did that, met Kate in Colorado, and then we did Colorado to Oregon together, and it was life-changing. And
that's cool. You guys did it together. Where's the romances over there?
I was going to say, are you riding alone for the beginning of this trip?
No. Some parts were, and some parts were with Kate's brother, who's a photographer.
Oh.
Okay.
So we did that, and then so that's what started it, and I loved it. And I thought, my God, if I get hit by a bus and tomorrow,
what a cool story.
What am I most proud of? And honestly, riding my bicycle across America at that time was
That's huge.
Not the restaurants or the podcasts or the books or whatever. It was all about. I got to experience that. I got to meet those people. Mm-hmm. I got to take that time to do that, and so that's what was the impetus for
you need your own TV show.
These challenges.
And you documented it too. You were able to document this.
I mean,
it's pretty cool.
It got documented.
That's really neat.
Yeah, I think
you got paid to do that.
No, I very rarely would get paid to write.
He was branding from the beginning before Basic Kitchens was even thing. He was already working on his branding.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There you go. So that's how it started. And
how long did it take you to go across?
It took about 2 months, 2.5 months.
Wow.
About 80 miles a day. Which for people who know about cross country cycling, they'd be like, that's very slow.
Is it?
But but we weren't moving as like you can do 120 miles a day and fly across.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So then
So
that was your
Kate takes
first
in
one.
with these adventures with you.
She on some she does, yeah.
Yay,
She didn't want to row across the Atlantic.
Well, we
but,
haven't gotten there yet. So how many? So what was after? So that's a lot. But you were already here, kind of feeling it out, and that what a really neat thing to do to, like you said, to know your country, to really go across it on your bike.
Yeah, I love living here. I feel I got to really know parts of this country doing that and experience things, and I had it for just
So did you and Charlie just kind of like run into each other on a bike? Or
no, Charlie and
guys...
so Charlie worked for my, in all this we
Enter Charlie.
So where does Charlie come into it? Charlie, my brother is, my younger brother is a chef, and he opened a restaurant, and I helped him in the UK. It's an old pub that we kind of grew up going to on the water in Cornwall called the Ferryboat Inn, and Kate and I went across and did all the design for him, and Charlie was the head chef there.
Cool.
And so Charlie was looking for a change. And I asked him to come out to the US and help me with Basic Kitchen, which was on life support. And so he did, and I gave him the bicycle that I rode across America on as the company car because I didn't have any money.
Come on.
And
I love that.
Charlie started riding, and he made amazing inroads into Basic Kitchen, and he was riding, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, up to then he's got to about 100 miles a week on the bike. Wow. Lost a lot of weight, shape of his life, changed the way he lived, and then COVID happened.
Okay.
Where is this bike?
The bike's called Peggy. He still
How many
has
miles does this
I think this bike has, I can't even imagine how many miles.
You still have the bike?
Yeah, he's right. He still rides it.
Oh, that's
He's on his way
amazing.
here right now.
he probably would be. So COVID happened, and then Charlie and I, and I'm gonna pause and just, COVID in the hospitality, you can't totally, if you can, I think people say, oh, this has got all easy for this guy. We were all in lots of different areas and thinking, and COVID happened, and I'll just give you lost the rest. My brother took one of the restaurants. We lost two of the others in the UK. Lost the restaurants in Savannah. Had to sort of fire sale some stuff. We had Sullivan's Fish Camp. We had signed the lease, but just sat on that. So we were hemorrhaging money there. We had Post House ready to go, but had to lay off all the team that we just hired for that. And then Basic Kitchen was, we did like takeout for a second, but and my Kate was pregnant. So we were that was a real reset, and Charlie and I kind of bonded. We just at Basic Kitchen one day doing like delivery boxes to anyone who would do it. And we talked about rowing, and I was like, I've always want to row the Atlantic. I'm thinking, nothing else is going on, and I really need something. I'm drinking too much. I'm pretty depressed. I'm so stressed. I could kind of refocus my efforts, and I'm thinking, man, this is maybe a good time to do this row. It's like a 2-year journey to get there. And he's like, man, I've always wanted to row the Atlantic too.
What? So you guys just
and I was like,
wanted to row the
well,
Atlantic?
it's in
rest
the
of
UK.
us are watching, like,
in the
Netflix
UK, there was a
series.
documentary about it,
okay.
and so we're like, oh wow, let's sign up. So we did, and again, this is for people who want to do stuff. Like,
Yes.
if you want to do something, I'm telling you this because people say to me, oh, it's all right for you, or it's easy for you. I emailed the lady, so I wanted to sign up to row the Atlantic. I had no experience, never rowed before. I emailed her, I said, this is part of an organization. You have to qualify to get there. What rowing experience you have? No, we're full. You can't get on. There's COVID, shut everything down. I emailed this lady every day for like a month.
Wow.
Just like, it's Ben again.
Okay.
I know I'm going to row the Atlantic. And eventually she turned around and said, if you're this determined to get to the start line in this year, you've got what it takes.
Oh my God.
And she said, I'll give you a place. And I was like, okay, great. Well, now I need a boat. And then I started, and so I started the next part of that journey. And then again on the boat, the guy, it was COVID. So he was like, no one was responding. I ended up just getting on a plane, and I turned up to his farm in Essex where he makes the boats. And I said, I'm the guy who's been emailing you and calling you for months, and I need the boat. And he's like, okay, come on with me. This is going to be your boat. I'm going to put it at the front. and we got it shipped here.
Oh my gosh.
3 months later. So it does take something. You got to dig deep if you want stuff, and so that's just a little snippet
What
of
is
like
the
what it
most-
takes to do stuff like this. It's not just like, oh man, I didn't get a response. Like, I guess I'm not doing it. It's
Right,
like,
the follow-up.
no follow up. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
The only thing
If
that's
you
in my
want
way
it.
is you.
If you want to do it.
We gotta work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
that's
What's
a
the
good
most
lesson.
dangerous thing you've ever done? Because all of this sounds dangerous to someone like me who's like, I have never run a marathon before. I'm just going to go decide to do it. I would probably be in cardiac arrest.
Well, I think it's I guess what you're talking about fear, right?
Right.
Like danger and fear to, what's, if you're prepared and you're, is it dangerous to go and run a marathon if you're not in shape or like,
Right.
no, if you've done all the check stuff and you've put some work in, is it dangerous? No. Are you, is fear a reason not to do something? Yeah, that's, so I think danger, obviously rowing across the Atlantic in a 24-foot rowing boat at sea with no, there's a level of danger there.
Hold on a second. Wait, the listeners don't know what that is.
Oh, sorry, I'm bouncing around.
Dream
You-
boats
yeah.
here.
So,
This entered dream boats,
okay,
right?
yes. Sorry.
What?
You're asking me
You were during COVID, and it wasn't just like one of those, oh, well, it's the end of the world, so let's go row a boat across the Atlantic. No, you guys really, really wanted to do that. It was like Kinsmet, you guys.
Yeah.
But the dangerous thing, go ahead and tell the story about dream boats, man. I mean,
So just to get the dream boat. So I'm a big believer that when stuff's not going well, you got to, and we see this in the hospitality business. You got two choices. You either like, my dad died of alcoholism when I was 5, drank himself to death, and you got a few choices in life. You can either sit there and wallow in it, and or you can be proactive about it. So I'm a big believer when stuff's not going right, it's like dig deep, find the things that are positive, like redirect, and so that's how the dream boats really came about. Because world falling apart, I know I can focus on this, and it's really positive. I'm going to get in shape.
you've got control over this.
Exactly.
This is what you can.
So dream boats, we signed up to.
Did you have a kid yet?
I did. I have a 3-year-old, and Kate was pregnant. So Kate, if we're going into the dream boats, we signed up for the race. It's a 2-year journey to get there. You got to raise a lot of money, sponsors. I mean, example would be who's going to sponsor an ocean rowing team that have never rowed an ocean. They don't have a boat. In fact, they'd never even rowed a boat at the time. So we would like calling people up, knocking on doors, being like, hey, looking for a major sponsor for our boat. Like, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
Eventually, we got a cosmetic dentist here in Charleston.
How did you land that?
We're 2 Brits with bad teeth, and they're looking for exposure. To get.
There you go.
Now,
So,
where's the commercial for that one?
so yeah, they signed on, and it gave us the opportunity to buy the boat, and we got the boat here, and then we started this incredible journey of absolute intense focus and preparation to get to the start line, and that is physically getting in shape, mentally getting in shape, having incredibly hard conversations with both one another. The number one thing that goes wrong when you are rowing 3,000 miles across the Atlantic, unsupported, unaided, 24 hours a day, nonstop, is a breakdown in relationship. Because once that relationship breaks down, like anything in life, it's very hard to function as a team.
Yeah.
All right. Think of it. So you got to stress test that relationship, and you got to say. And I'm going to tell you, like, if something happens to someone on land, like, do you want to know that that's happened? Because there's nothing we can do when we're out there. The quickest way. So I'm going to give a conversation Charlie and I have to have. If one of my children dies while I'm there,
Dear Lord.
is it helpful to know that?
Yeah.
Why out at sea? Like, is it going to make the boat safer? I have to ultimately get there, and the only way of getting there is on my rowing boat.
So are you mentally thinking about this?
So the thing is, in life, have those conversations before you set off in case they happen, right?
So you went through did you have a will and all of those things?
Yeah, so Charlie and I dug so deep into that relationship that when stuff did go wrong at sea, and it did, we sort of said, we're so fatigued because you're sleeping for such a little period of time. You can... And it's a good thing for starting a business or anything that you're doing. Have like really hard conversations up front about what might and can go wrong.
Yep.
And it might not go wrong. But if it does go wrong, at least you're like, okay, when we were not tired, not in the middle, and not scared, this is what we agreed to one another, and like let's stick to that plan because it seemed like a good one when we were there. Because obviously when you're tired and hungry and scared, you're like, no, absolutely, totally different story.
I'm sure you could get sick and sunburn. And
Oh no,
all
he
the
got
things.
sick.
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
Yeah, it was Sarah Frick, is it? Am
Yeah.
I saying that right?
Yeah.
Ma'am? That interview with her was amazing. So listen to that interview, listeners, because he really I was like, oh my God, you're so super dangerous stuff.
All
Like
I can think of is
swells, like-
Castaway and
So 30
blisters.
It's
and
all
like,
that.
No,
Yeah.
so you're off. So you set off from Antigua.
40 days, right?
It took us 40 days.
Took you 40 days.
Charlie and I rode. One person would row for 2 hours, and the other person would eat, wash, and sleep for the 2 hours, and then you'd swap. And you do that 24 hours a day for 40 days. And answer your
Your
question.
poor
Does
wife.
that not just blow your mind right there?
It does. It totally blows.
Wait,
Uh,
they had communication.
We had we have a satellite phone and
Nobody died, listeners, right? Nobody, because that whole
we-
horrible thing you just went through with your.
Yeah, we didn't die, but there was a death this year on the crossing.
Oh, on the cross. No, I'm just saying, like
On
you
the
didn't get a
crossing.
phone call from
No,
anybody saying that.
no.
But someone amongst the teams passed away.
Oh,
Us, yeah, it's a.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not saying it happens. I mean, you're
Yeah.
rowing an ocean. Like it
and you signed that waiver anyway. You're like, yeah.
Did you see
obviously,
sharks?
I know.
That's my
we saw
biggest
sharks. We saw whales. We went through
saw sharks?
storms.
Oh, gosh.
We capsized after a 5-day storm, about 1,000 miles from land, and so that happened. But the boat self-righted, and we climbed back on.
Crazy.
We got hit by a marlin. Our rudder was snapped in the middle of the night.
Yeah. That's a good story too.
You know, we.
What about the crying in the beginning?
Oh,
the
yeah.
emotions that you
That
had
would've
to
been
go
me.
through because of what you guys decided to do.
Yeah. So again, an if you think about sitting on a rowing machine and you're rowing away from land, but you're looking at land and you're thinking this might be the most stupid thing I've ever decided to do in my entire life, and suddenly everything you start crying and you cry for days, and it's a thing in ocean rowing. I don't know what it is, but it's like therapy times 1,000, and eventually you're stripped down. And Charlie and I looked at each other after like 4 days. I was like, we've just got to stop crying.
So I'm kind of ignorant.
Stop.
Are you all all the teams together?
No,
doing
you don't
this?
see anyone else. Unsupported.
So you
unaided.
can't
see anyone.
And
You're
they
just
decided
on
to-
an island, literally like basically on an island on your own, like in the ocean by
Yeah.
yourself with just Charlie.
who
Yeah.
and who are these other people you're competing against?
Military guy. I mean, it's an amazing group of people, and the ocean community is amazing and small but wonderful.
Yeah.
And, takes a certain person to want to do it. So
For 40 days doing that.
So
over
when
and over
when it's
again, all of
over,
it.
do you all come together?
Yeah. Oh, there is a
no,
really
everyone's
great party you can
finishing.
talk
Everyone's
about.
finishing at different times, and so we came in at 40 days, and some people came in at 100 days. It depends on where
That's
you are.
amazing.
So I think one person was out there for our year was probably 120 days on their own.
Oh my god.
On their own?
Yeah, some people do it on their own.
What I caught from that interview was the party on the cliff.
Okay, so life, great. We'll finish this race. Imagine this, guys.
Yeah. Oh wait. Did you win?
We did.
They won.
We
You
did.
won the
They
whole
won
thing?
the whole thing.
Well, we won the pairs.
You won all of
Yeah,
it.
we're the fastest
That
pair.
is incredible.
Fastest pair that year. I think we're in the top, probably the top
Y'all are like
10 in history.
Sheens. This is amazing.
Yeah.
But again, that's a lesson in life. Charlie and I were not athletes. We worked really hard, but we also were a great team, and we decided to have fun, and we played amazing. Like our thing was like own the night. So like turn the night, which is arguably one of you think of as being scary with big waves, but actually the night is the most perfect time. It's cool. The sky's insane. You don't have to like do all the chores that you do in the day. So we just put the loudest like dance music on and just
sure
would
to ask
row,
about
and it was just epic. And we
Awesome.
kind of we came in first, the first pair, and then we came in on a Saturday night at 5:00, sun setting in Antigua in English Harbour, all the horns going off and the big ships that are there. It's just a mega feeling. You've seen your family
you, like,
for the
weeping?
first time. Oh yeah,
Oh, I'm sure.
Peace.
I would be.
I'm weeping right now.
And then there's a famous party in Antigua at Shirley Heights on a Sunday night. The whole island, like reggae thing.
Was Kate there?
Oh yeah, the kids
Oh.
are on my shoulders. You
It's killing
go
me.
till 2 a.m. It's like jerk,
She has to be so
goat and
proud.
fish, and it was like birth of my kids,
Crazy.
wedding, and and Shirley Heights, the best nights ever.
You can't ask for something
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
You can't
see.
duplicate that.
Now, this is like a one and done experience.
Whoa, wait a second now.
I'm asking.
Career adventure. So we get what's.
Is
Well, I
the
mean,
question,
this
would I
was-
row
this
another ocean? The
specifically
answer
this.
is yes.
But wait,
absolutely.
more importantly, you raised a bunch of money.
We did. We raised $150,000 for the Green Heart Project, and we've always worked with them since we've had the restaurants. They're an incredible organization. They do really great work and really robust curriculum in Charleston County public schools.
What do they do again?
They build gardens in Charleston County public schools, and they teach maths and science and nutrition through these gardens.
I love it.
And they're totally integrated into the school system and the curriculum. And they have teachers in each of the schools, and then the produce either ends up in backpacks for the canteen or in cooking classes.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's a really cool program.
Developing some chefs. Some mini chefs.
Well, I all just like, it's a life thing. I always think people leave school and they can like do certain like math they'll never use again in their life, but they don't know how to cook an egg.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I would say like there should be that lesson, like, hey guys, you got to eat 3 meals a day, and like what you eat affects how you feel and long-term health. But we don't really talk. It's probably like an hour in biology when you're falling asleep, which is crazy to me.
That's a good
People
point.
go into a store
is
and
a
they're
good
like, "Oh my
point.
god, I just don't know what to do." But we spend time on pie, and I still don't know what
The
pie
wrong type
is.
of pie. Oh my gosh, that's a great point. Okay, so now we did it. You did the thing. Now what is it? What else matters, right? Like you got to have all the confidence in the world. What, you going back to work?
I went, but yeah, I'm back at work.
So you're back at work. That's
Yeah.
great. Running this 250 person show.
Yep. Yeah, talking about confidence, I think if you say the 4 lessons from rowing an ocean is this, and I really, it's like, firstly is be kind,
Yeah.
because you can't be an arsehole. Like when you're tired, when you want to be, like two people, you need a whole village to get you through this experience,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have really hard conversations, and so be kind, number one. Be humble, because people who think they're going to dominate something, or like they can lift a lot of weights in the gym, or like they're good for like 30 minutes. Mother Nature on a 5-day storm, when you haven't slept, it doesn't matter about your weights or how you look in the mirror, and like you're going to get absolutely nailed. So you got to be really humble and respect that process.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Resiliency. Stuff goes wrong. You run out of money. You don't have a boat. Can't sign up. The rudder breaks. You get hit by a marlin. You like be resilient, right? And laugh when it goes wrong. Cry, then laugh, and then finally is be prepared and like do the work. And if you've done the work, like the rudder snapped, but we had a spare rudder. We had a spare rudder because we went through what are the single points of failure, and
Another good story.
It is, and there was a little luck in that.
Yeah.
But being prepared, and I think if you take all those things and you actually drill down into it, they're very simple but very hard, and you got to be focused there. So I that's what I came back with. So it's not this life changing. It's different. You go back to work and you think things go wrong.
Yeah.
How do I deal with it?
Exactly.
I want to do something new. We'll prepare.
Do you get the bug now to go on another adventure after something like that?
Yeah, I think if you've experienced what high highs and low lows are, you want a little bit of both.
So like skydiving, is that next?
I'm very afraid of heights. I think I'll
Go
struggle.
to Mars or something, or
I don't know. I would love to. There'll be. Rowing another ocean, the Pacific would be a definitely a life goal.
what was that?
The Pacific.
Oh, you want to row the Pacific?
Would I do that? Yes. Am I doing that right now? No.
Oh, you're talking about us on the podcast right now.
And right now I'm doing a marathon a month.
Okay, a marathon a month.
Yeah. And
A whole marathon a month.
Whole marathon a month. We're doing one on Sunday if anyone wants to join.
Where is this marathon on Sunday?
This one I was meant to do. We were going to be doing Denver, but I'm not. I just had too much on the work. So we're going to do Sunday. I'm leaving from the Isle of Palms on 32nd Street, and you run. I've got a nice route that's online that takes you to Basic Kitchen.
Nice.
So
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing that, and yeah, other than that, that's my goal.
How many miles is that then?
It's 26.
26.
Holy
Point-
smokes!
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah.
I didn't do the math.
26 miles.
Yeah, 26.2.
I did 2. I did 3 earlier today.
See?
Okay.
I do see you sometimes running in the neighborhood, and I try to wave at you.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh,
You look busy.
Not
so
anymore
I'll let
since
you do
you
your
moved.
thing.
I'm very. If you see me, just kind of walk over me. I'm probably dead on.
So, how many marathons have you done in your life so far?
Well, I just started this year. I ran the first one in.
Give him a chance, Steph.
Ran the first one in January in where was it? In Athens, Georgia. Then I did Nashville in Feb, and then I did DC in March, London in April, and Isle of Palms now. And then I think I'm doing Missoula, and another one in Colorado. Anyway, I got 15 on the books for this year.
Oh my gosh!
15 on the books.
So that's it.
What about your buddy Charlie? Are you guys doing any kind of combo team thing?
No, we're not.
Imagine
We
guys'
don't. We have a great relationship. I don't think we need to do everything together for the rest of
I
our
would
lives.
like to meet Charlie.
And you should have Charlie on here.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlie and I are still incredibly close. Best friends, and we stepped off that boat closer than when we set off.
That's amazing.
And we laughed together and cried together and shared some incredible experiences. And so forever we will have that.
You know, I have an idea. It's going to be you, Charlie, and Kate on an episode, and Stephanie and I are just going to be on the background.
For sure.
Yeah,
I do feel like I can
talk
see you.
about your
Would you
stories.
ever consider doing like a television show, like just telling your like a whole actual docu-series?
I don't know if anyone wants to hear that, but
I would want to hear that.
So,
It's been a fun 45 minutes so far.
I think a docu-series on Netflix just talking about. I mean, this is
there's
very
some very
inspiring.
accomplished people in this world.
Well, I just watched Baby Reindeer, so that wasn't very accomplished. So it's not. But
I haven't seen that.
oh, it's wild. But I feel like you're just such an interesting guy, but it also is very hopeful for someone like me who's not athletic. I'm like, I might be able to run a marathon with Matthew.
You absolutely can. I'm much more interested in like doing that with people. So like I think I've got 25 people running this weekend. I put it out on Instagram in Charleston, and people were like, I did put free breakfast and drinks at Basic Kitchen, which is I didn't think that many people would sign up. So everyone was like, God, we're already fully booked, and it's all free. So it's amazing how many people will run a half marathon for a breakfast. So we're doing those sort of things, and I think people will show up this weekend. I think I've got 4 people running the marathon, and I've got 21 people running, or maybe more, running the half marathon, and that's all like in 3 days on Instagram. So yeah, I'm much more interested in that stuff. Like,
so you're doing that while being the CEO of all these restaurants.
Yes.
This is a pretty busy season right now. This is summer. I mean, we're
good
busy.
We've got a good team.
He's got a great team.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
How many restaurants have you?
Opened.
3.
No.
We've opened.
Here.
We've done
New York.
Yes,
Or up there.
7 or 8. So far.
Very
So
cool.
when I walk into Post House Inn on Father's Day, is it going to look a lot different?
It will.
Oh, it's going to look like you.
Well, it'll look like
the aesthetics, like
it'll just be a big picture of
a big
me
picture of him.
behind the bar.
There you go.
And you're like, wow,
gotta be
this
you.
place
Yeah.
makes total sense.
Good job, Kate.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and
I cannot
I
wait.
think
I'm
it
excited.
feels very like a great neighborhood tavern, and we've definitely done a lot to make it feel like.
That whole part of the city is just so cute and quaint, and it's just
What is it?
beautiful.
So is it the
It's Old Village.
Old Village?
Old Village, yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really. I love it.
I need to go down there more often.
Just walk around.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's
It's
very
beautiful.
cute.
Yeah, we do. If you guys, we do a great holiday fair. I think it's the second weekend in December, and there's about 5,000 people come, and we have we block off the Old Village, the little street, and we have maybe 30 vendors and
You
bands.
said in December?
Yeah, second weekend in December, and so
Huh.
that's our big marketing effort for Post House. So a lot of makers from here and from other parts of the country come and do that. It's amazing.
I have never been to that, and
Yeah,
I've been
it's
to a lot
called
of things. I need
it's
to do
called
that.
You do everything stuff.
I know, and I
did
feel
you
like
miss
I'm
that?
learning something for the first time today.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the whole idea about these podcasts.
What's
are.
it called? Anyway, you should. It's
Well,
the-
Oh,
our
I'm
street fair.
definitely
Street
gonna-
fair,
I'm
yeah.
definitely
It's
gonna
great.
go.
It's great. It's a big deal.
Hey, don't be surprised to see me racing after you one of those days, just randomly showing up to
I'd love that.
and then falling 5 miles later. Thanks for being with us, hanging out with us, Ben.
Oh my God! Thank you very much. Sorry.
Stephanie, do you have any last questions?
Yeah, I want to know what he sees coming up. Like, you've accomplished so much already since you've moved to Charleston. Like,
She's really digging. She
I'm
wants to know.
excited.
that
I'm
next
just
thing.
really
Yeah.
excited. As
No,
usual.
as I said, I'd like to. We'd like to continue being entrepreneurial and working with good folks. I'd love to do another Basic Kitchen, or just sort of our tagline there is cleaner fuel, longer adventure.
Yes.
And I kind of love. I love what we're doing at Basic Kitchen. I love the Charlie and the team, and we'd love to sort of grow that kind of casual, healthy dining scene. So I'd like to do another one of those or something in the spirit of that.
And it's on Instagram. It's Basic Kitchen, right? At
Yeah,
Basic Kitchen.
yeah, at Basic Kitchen, at Post House Inn, and at Sullivan's Fish Camp.
Yeah.
Lovely. And I want you to close us off with your explanation behind "Be Where Your Feet Are." I like that.
Yeah,
I took that away from the podcast earlier.
Yeah, so we had a sticker on the boat that said "Be Where Your Feet Are," and it really is when stuff gets tough, and it does get tough, and don't look too far ahead. And this really happened when rowing through really rowing into a storm, and knowing how gnarly it was going to be, and all you can do is just be present right there and be where your feet are, and eventually you'll get through the other side. But sometimes in life, if you look up and try and look too far ahead, it's all overwhelming. So if you're going to do big things, just be present, be where your feet are, one foot in front of the other, and then who knows where you'll end up.
Yes, sir. It's been real, Ben.
Thank you very much.
You're remarkable.
Thank you very much.
Leaving
where's
very
my
inspired.
script? Before we leave, we need to thank our sponsors, Charleston Radio Group, Jerry Feels Good, and of course the American Marketing Association. If you want to be a sponsor or a guest on our show, reach out to podcast@charlestonama.org. Go ahead and review and rate us. Stephanie, you want to say bye?
Yes, guys. Thanks so much for being here. This is such a powerful conversation. It's been a blast. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Bye, guys.
Next time.